فاهمه.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
أشهد
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين. نحمد الله حمدا يليق به عز وجل ونشكره شكرا يليق بنعمه التي لا تعد ولا تحصى، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد صلاة وسلاما ننال بها شفاعته. أما بعد، النهارده هيبقى يوم 17 من رمضان أو يوم غزوة بدر. Today is the 17th day of Ramadan and it's the day of the Battle of Badr. يوم الفرقان يوم التقى الجمعان. A day which Allah has also named يوم الفرقان, the day that the two sides met. الحق والباطل, justice and injustice. So in order to understand the Battle of Badr, first we need some context. We need to go back a little bit. The Battle of Badr happened in what year after the Hijrah? The second year. العام الثاني بعد الهجرة. ولكن first we need to understand the Hijrah itself. So the Hijrah, the Muslimin went from Mecca, they migrated from Mecca to Medina, and in the process of migration, they left behind a lot of their wealth, a lot of their possessions, they left behind their homes, they left behind their jobs, right? They left behind any connections that they had, they left behind their trade, they left behind their entire lives, right? So who benefited from their stuff? Quraysh. They're able to trade with it, they're able to use it. If there were homes, now they can live in it. So all the benefits towards Quraysh and the Muslimin, when they went to Medina, they had nothing. And in fact, the Prophet had to pair them up, each like one person from Medina with one person from Mecca, because the Meccans had nothing. Like, how are they going to support themselves, right? So that is the very short story of the Hijrah. So in the second year after the Hijrah, news reached the Prophet, news reached Sayyidina Muhammad, that Abu Sufyan was heading with the qafila towards the Sham, towards Syria, right? And Quraysh, their entire lives depend on trade. As we can see in the Quran when Allah says, لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشِ إِلَافِهِمْ رَحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. They have 2 trips per year, and that's where they get everything from. That's where they get their money from, that's where they get their wealth from, right? This is where their entire lives are based around these 2 trips. So when the Prophet hears about this qafila, he decides that he is going to take over the qafila. He's going to take over the caravan. Why? Because the Muslimin, they're very poor, right? And aslan, القافلة ديت المال is تبع المسلمين, right? This is the Muslimin possessions. So he goes out with around 300 companions, 300 Sahaba. Although some say a little bit over, some say 317, and they head towards the qafila. Now, who hears about this? Abu Sufyan hears that Sayyidina Muhammad with Sahaba are coming to take the caravan. So he sends a message quickly to Quraysh. Sayyidina Muhammad with Sahaba, they're coming for me, send reinforcements. And at the same time, he plans a route to avoid them. And he successfully avoids them. He takes a route في البحر الأحمر in the Red Sea, and he's able to avoid the Prophet and his companions. And he sends a message right back to Quraysh, I'm safe now, your caravan and your goods are safe, you don't need to come out. Now who hears this news in Quraysh and disagrees? Abu Jahl. Abu Jahl, he hears this and he says, no, we're still going to go out. We're going to go out to the Bi'r Badr, we're going to go out to the well of Badr, and we're going to have a party over there. We're going to bring our dancers, we're going to bring our drummers, and we're going to drink, we're going to eat, we're going to have a good time over there, so that all the other Arab tribes can see how powerful we are and see how the Muslimin, they can't do anything. Right? So Abu Jahl, he goes out with around 1,000 mushrikeen, 1,000 kuffar, to Bi'r Badr, and to battle the Muslimin. Now if we look at the Muslimin situation, if we look at it from their perspective, they went out, right? وَتَوَدُّونَ غَيْرَ ذَاتِ الشَّوْكَةِ لَكُمْ. They want to go out and they want to take something easy, right? They're not going out for battle. Yeah, if they have a sword or something, they're dressed lightly, they're not dressed for battle, they don't have the horses for battle, they don't have the armor for battle, they're not prepared at all, they don't have the numbers for battle, and they're going out to take some money and come back basically. And now, they have to fight a war with a group of people who are 3 times their size and who are coming out prepared. So here starts the story of Badr. So the Prophet is out with his companions and he asks them, Ashiru alayha ayyuhan nas. He's asking them for advice. What are we going to do? So one of the companions from Mecca, one of the Meccans stands up and he gives them advice. Oh, we're with you. No matter where you go, we're going to follow you into battle. And he asks the second time, Ashiru alayha ayyuhan nas. And another Meccan stands up and he says around the same thing. And he says, Ashiru alayha ayyuhan nas. And then one of the people from Medina, one of the Ansar, stands up and he says, كَأَنَّكَ تُرِيدُنَا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. It's as if though you want one of us to speak, one of the people from Medina to speak. And then basically he gives his full support for Sayyidina Muhammad. He says, no matter where you go, we're going to follow you. And we're not going to be like Bani Israel, who said, اِذْهَبَ أَنْتَ وَرَبُّكَ فَقَاتِلَ. You and your Lord go and you guys fight. We're going to stay right here. No, we're going to go with you and we're going to fight with you. So now he has the full support of the people he came out with originally, both the Meccans and both the Ansar or Muhajirin. He has both their support. And then another companion stands up, Ubayd ibn al-Mundhir, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, أَهَذَا مَنْزِلٌ أَنزَلَكَ اللَّهُ. Is this a place that Allah told you to stay in? أَمْ هُوَ الرَّأِي وَالْحَرْبُ الْمَكِيدَةِ. Or is this just opinion and general war tactics? So Rasul replies, بَلْ الْحَرْبُ بَلِ الرَّأِي وَالْحَرْبُ الْمَكِيدَةِ. This is not something that Allah sent down and told me to stay here. It's general war tactics. So Khubab, he helps the Prophet prepare for Badr. And here, what he does is he says, we should go to the well of Badr itself and we should stay there. Why? Because then we have the water source of the region and it's a desert. So everyone needs water. We have the water and they don't have the water, right? So there's planning, right? They're taking with all the necessary reasons that they should take with. And then they enter battle. 300 from Muslimin and 1,000 from the Kuffar. You can see like this, these are not easy odds to win it. But who wins in the end? The Muslimin win. And the numbers were, there are 17 shuhada min Muslimin, so there's 17 martyrs from the Muslim side, and there's 70 people that were killed from the Mushrikeen. 70 قتلوا من المشركين, and a lot of them were Sanadid Quraysh. A lot of them were like Abu Jahl, like the bigger people in Quraysh that were in charge of the decisions, that had the wealth, that had the money. So they were able to, hurt them a little bit. And from this battle, there are several lessons. The first one, sometimes people like to bring up this ayat in the Quran, like for example, kill them where you find them. There's a lot of these verses in the Quran that people like to point out to show that Islam is a religion of war. And this is incorrect for more than one reason. The main reason is that we have to look at the context of these ayat. And we'll find that all of these ayat that appear to be violent, they're sent in the context of war, right? So if you're in war, you're going to be sending down verses that say, extend salam, right? All these peaceful verses. No, you're in war. It's like, for example, you're about to enter a basketball game or something, and you're in the locker room. Are you going to say, oh, ask them how their family's doing? You know, are you guys doing all right? Be nice. No, that's not the type of language that's going to be used. You're in war, right? There's different type of language, a different type of encouragement. But we see in all times of peace, وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسِّلْمِ فَاجْنَحْ لَهَا, right? وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If they extend for peace, then you extend for peace, right? And place your faith in Allah. So in times of peace, we see that Islam is a complete religion of peace. But in times of war, if they're pushed towards war, then we can have war, no problem, right? And we even see in the Battle of Badr, the Battle of Badr happened between Mecca and Medina. So which one was it closer to? It was about 150 kilometers from Medina and 300 kilometers from Mecca, which means that the Meccans, the Mushrikeen, the Kafirin, they were the ones that they wanted war. They were the ones that extended the hand towards war. So we're not going to just run away. We're going to fight the war and we're going to win, right? So that's the first lesson. The second lesson is that if you look throughout the story, we'll see that the Muslimin didn't just place their trust in Allah without taking any reasons, right? They took every single precaution necessary. They changed their place to be at the well of Badr so they can have the water and the Mushrikeen cannot have the water, right? They planned their tactics. It wasn't just, I place my faith in Allah and I don't take any reason that I need to take in this dunya, and that's how we should be. You can't, for example, pray to Allah that you want money or that you want to get 100 on your test and then you don't study or you don't work, right? You need to take all the reasons necessary and then you place your trust in Allah. The last reason is that we have to understand that in Islam, there are rules of engagement in war. There's rules to war, right? Nowadays, we see that there are no rules to war. Everything is fair game, right? You attack a hospital, you attack a school, you attack a wedding, you kill women and children. This is all fine now. But in Islam, there are very specific rules. And we'll see that throughout the 23 sana, throughout all 23 years of the Prophet, after he had the prophethood, only over 1,000 people were killed in all of those battles, over 70-something battles, right? Because there are rules of engagement in Islam. You can't just kill anybody. You can't kill women, you can't kill children, you can't kill old people. You can't kill people who are in their place of worship, in their monasteries, in their churches, right? You can't even cut down trees. If there's any landmarks, you can't harm them, right? All of these, the only thing that you can attack is the people that are attacking you. And these are the rules of engagement in Islam. And unlike maybe other organizations that say they have rules of engagement, in Islam, the rules of engagement are actually followed. They're actually applied. So these are the lessons from the Ghazwat Badr. First is that if there's any ayat in the Quran that appear to be violent, we have to look at the specific context that they were sent in. Second is that, as we see in the Battle of Badr, everyone takes with all the necessary reasons and tools that they have in front of them. And then they place their trust in Allah. And third is that in Islam, we have rules of engagement. And these rules of engagement, we actually follow through with, because Allah commanded us to follow them.
This time between the two khutbah, raise up your hand and make dua.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. In the Battle of Badr, as we see, as we just discussed, the Muslimin were greatly outnumbered, they were greatly out-resourced, and yet they were still able to win. And one of the reasons that they were able to be successful in this battle, and all the other battles that followed, with very few exceptions, and the reason that they were able to spread so quickly and so successfully and build their empire, was because of their tawakkul ala Allah. They placed their faith in Allah, right? And this is a very important thing that we should keep in mind, is that anything can fail us. If we place our trust in another human being, they can fail us. Place our trust in ourselves, we can fail ourselves, right? If you place your trust in your intelligence, in your ability to study, in your ability to do work, in your body, all of these things can fail. But the one thing that never fails is Allah. So when you place your trust in Allah, you're placing your trust in someone who doesn't fail, who has all these instruments in front of you that may appear to be the reasons for success. They're just tools in his hand that he can decide to aid you with, or he can decide to take away. So this should be our mindset. is that the first thing that we place trust in, the first thing that we turn to when we are in conflict is Allah, right? And there's a verse in the Quran that talks about Ghazwat Badr that says, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. In the Battle of Badr, the Prophet had taken like some dirt, some dust off the ground, and he had threw them in the direction of the kuffar, in the direction of the enemy, and this dirt ended up in the eyes of the kuffar in the battle, right? And all the people who ended up in the eyes of, they were killed in battle, right? But we can see that we take with reason, and then what happens? We place tawakkul in Allah, we place our trust, we place our faith in Allah. And this is the route to success. Taking with reason and then placing your trust in Allah. Now you've covered all the bases, right? And whatever Allah sees is best for you, it will be done. Maybe it may appear in your eyes that it's not the best thing. Like when the Muslimin went out and they were trying to take this caravan and now they have to fight a war. Huh? Does that look good for them? No, that doesn't look good for them at all. But in the long run, the wisdom is revealed. So this is a general principle that we should have in our lives. Taking with reason and then placing our faith in Allah. نأخذ بالأسباب كذا نتوكل على الله. And we should note that whatever results come out after we do this, these are the best results that could have come out. Even if they may not appear that this is not what we wanted, we have to place our trust in Allah's wisdom. Okay? أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو التواب الرحيم وأقيموا الصلاة.
أحمد يلا يا علي أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. الله أكبر. سمع الله من حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تباركت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أعني على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا
إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
سبحان الله. How many times? Go ahead.